Welcome to another session of $5 in the World. It's a project I've been working on for a little over a year now. Stories and reminiscences about my dad's philosophy about living, his approach to everything from parenting to business to living life to its fullest. Um, I hope that you find these stories useful. Those who have commented have been very complimentary, and input has been very useful. This is the YouTube idea is something I've established to help me stay accountable to keep writing, keep working on it. And like I said before, I took a break because I was involved in some community theater. But one of the things about having a habit, even one that you like this writing, you get out of a habit. It's hard to start a new one, just like it's hard to break a bad one. And so I'm back at it, but it's been an uneven launch. I got back at it a few weeks ago, then I missed 2 weeks, and I'm back at it now. So my every intention is to be here every weekend, Friday or Saturday, because my schedule shifts around. But I'm doing it tonight just to get back on track, and then I'll be on again this weekend and the next week until I get this finished. And the revisions are just about a third of the way done, and so there's quite a few more chapters to go. Uh, but we're getting there. So thanks again for your input. And without further ado, I'm going to read this chapter. This one is called "What's in It for Them?" and it goes like this. There remains a perception in the world that business operates on a winner-take-all mindset. The goal of negotiation seems to center on outwitting the other side and taking every advantage possible. In politics, this can lead to any number of dysfunctional outcomes, and only gets more pronounced if a culture sees compromise as a weakness or losing. Truth be told, many business people and politicians do operate this way. While there exist some irreconcilable differences in this world, the best outcomes prove to be the ones negotiated in good faith. Our dad excelled in negotiations. His gift for understanding people was one reason for this. Knowing what each party wants and needs out of the discussions makes the discussion more fruitful. Dad went into every meeting with clarity about his own plans as well as with an agenda for finding out what the other side desired. Negotiations turn out to be difficult because of the aforementioned self-centered approach to negotiating. There is also the risk of dealing with an unscrupulous counterpart. The third area of challenge seems the most common. Neither side is willing to be transparent about what they really want. A perception exists that we lose leverage with transparency. So, much of negotiation can end up as a guessing game as to what is needed to reach an agreement. While negotiating is difficult because we don't know what the other side wants, it is practically futile if we lack clarity about what we want to accomplish. The first thing Dad told us that we needed to succeed was a clear sense of what we wanted and needed, an order of priority. The next thing is to figure out what matters most to the other party. Knowledge in this area helps us to keep our offers proportionate as well as attractive to the other side. The third piece is to determine if we can afford to give the other side what they want, and will it result in us getting what we want. In the event the discussions do not move in the desired direction, he reminded us that we always had the option of stepping back from the negotiations or conversations. Some agreements don't come together. Not every deal gets done. Not every conflict gets resolved. The thing is, no deal is better than a bad deal. Another mentor of mine had a saying, good deals come and go, bad deals stick forever. We need to maintain clarity and discipline about what it is we're trying to accomplish in any meaningful discussion we enter. And we have to know when to let it go. My grandfather taught my dad that it is a disadvantage to want the outcome more than the other person does. The willingness to step away is a strength when it's done on purpose and with the confidence that there is always another opportunity down the road. I know that when I've adhered to this standard, I've done well in negotiations. The deals I've had any regret over have not been the ones that got away, so much as the ones I gave up too much to land. I need to be wary of making an agreement the goal instead of my desired outcome being the goal. A deal at any cost rarely proves to be satisfying. It wasn't just in business that Dad practiced the art of negotiation. In the family, Dad preferred reaching consensus and buy-in over resentful compliance. Even at a young age, Dad would Dad preferred reaching consensus and buy-in even at a young age, Dad would talk us through what it was he wanted to do, what he wanted us to do or to stop. He would entertain our arguments and even amend his position if he thought that we made some sense. I think it was his nature to direct us this way, and I think he enjoyed hearing how we thought about things. I now think he did this in the spirit of training us to think on our feet, speak up for ourselves, and learn how to negotiate. I know this is one of those areas of parenting where our parents' approach to rulemaking and disciplining was different than most. My friends shook their heads at the amount of give and take that occurred during discussions I had with my parents. They were used to a more traditional approach of, you'll do it because I said so. I know that mom and dad's technique was more time consuming and took more patience to effectively manage us this way. I know for them it was almost a point of pride that they dealt with us in a way that got results they wanted without resorting too often to blunt authority. We found that by telling us what they wanted us to do and why, it built. I'm sorry, I'm just editing as I go here. It built a strong foundation for our relationships as we got older. We felt respected and valued while still understanding that they had the last word. It is an amazing feeling as a child to be listened to and to have your thoughts taken seriously. Knowing that we had a part to play in the outcome made it easier to accept when we didn't get things our way most of the time. Sometimes we still flipped out. I mentioned earlier that there are times when the desired outcome is elusive or someone remains unpersuaded. If both parties trust in the good faith of the other, then a disagreement doesn't have to be a permanent falling out, and a negotiation can possibly get restarted because no bridges were burned. All of our relationships have an element of negotiation. The better we get at asserting our own position, understanding the other party's position, and developing a healthy negotiating process, the better our relationships will be. For the ones that do not engage in meaningful ways with a goal of resolution, that is a good sign that the relationship isn't as healthy as we would hope. The more important the relationship is to us, the more important it is to get good at this. Start with gaining clarity about yourself and your own desires. Learn how to discern what the other person wants. If I can help somebody get what they want, then they are much more likely to help me get what I want. When we reject the scarcity mindset and realize just how much there is to be gained when we work on something together, amazing things can get done. It is the same idea in a family. Disagreements are not usually from ill will. It may just be a lack of information or understanding. If we stay focused on the issue and not make it personal because we've misread somebody's intentions, we'll get so much better outcomes. The process is the point. How we get to an agreement really determines the staying power of the agreement. If the other person matters to you, or even only the best possible outcome is what matters to you, making the effort to account for what the other person wants is a winning approach at the office and at home. Make sure you know what's in it for them. All right, that's it for today. That is the latest chapter revision. Tell me what you think. Put it in the comments. I would really appreciate if you liked and shared this and invited others to sign up to the page. You can even look at it without signing up. So please pass it around and look forward to your comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you next weekend. Goodbye for now.